Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, September 4th. It is 6:22 right now. We got market opening up in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up liquidity over here and we will get started shortly with our analysis for today. So it's got a few things here to update. 8 hour, going down to the 4 hour, 2 hour. Oops. 1 hour. 30 minute. So the market actually hasn't really moved very much, guys, since yesterday. I'll show you guys, the market structure. Price is actually still in the same orb range as yesterday, so it hasn't really moved too much. I'll also show you guys my swing positions. None of them got filled really for this week because for some reason, this is NFP week, so I was expecting the market to be moving directional, but it just wasn't. It was kind of going sideways. I mean, I don't even think they'll get filled. I'll probably have to cancel my orders because it is Thursday. So, yes, it just goes to show that it's a pretty choppy NFP week. Really choppy, really back and forth. Because the thing is, with my swing positions, I'm really just trying to buy the dip, and the thing is, it hasn't dipped and it hasn't moved directional um, at all. So I've marked up liquidity over here. Let me go ahead and mark up the market structure as well. So I believe we have. Let's see, where's my market structure? Right here from this lower low. So I have a support right here. Also have a support right here. Resistance right here. And another resistance right here. All right, so I got some market structure right here. You guys can see price has pretty much been going sideways for quite a bit. So let me go over here to the orb markup real quick. You can see over here, price is stuck within the same orb range from yesterday. This shows that market has not done much since yesterday. This is kind of where we were stuck in yesterday when we took the orb price, kind of established the range, and it's just been retesting it as like a resistance point. So you can see over here, price kind of just came up, rejected from there, rejected, rejected. Rejected and ended up just staying within this range like pretty much throughout the entire session. So not much has happened there. And like I said, for my swing trades over here, so I'm trying to get my fill over here for US 30. It's probably not going to fill. I'm taking the swing trades on pretty much all the indices. So NASDAQ over here as well. I'm looking to get my entry right here. No fill. It's been going sideways. And then same with the S&P 500. So with that being said, it just goes to show that the market's not doing much. So don't be too worried about not being able to take trades this week because it's just been choppy, right? We're still in this opening range from yesterday. It should be out of this area and we should be pushing away from it. I'm gonna step away for 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna go grab some water real quick, and then market should be opening shortly in about 4 minutes. So I'm gonna step away for just 1 second. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, September 4th. It is 6:28 right now. We got market opening up in about a minute. Direction for the breakout is looking like it's going to be a sell. So if you guys are looking to take the breakout for today, it is going to be a sell. Looking at my overall market structure outlook for the day, it's going to be neutral to slightly bullish. It's going to be 5 out of 10 alignment, so it's not going to be super one-sided. Like we talked about earlier, guys, market's been kind of just ranging and consolidating throughout the entire day. It's still within the range from yesterday, so we'll see what happens here when market opens up. This is going to be kind of weird because yeah, price is supposed to be out of this range, the following day. It's in the same exact range as it was yesterday. So this shows that market has not gone anywhere. Also looking at my swing trades, you can see over here, they're not getting filled. I'm looking for a swing trade on US 30 or YM, NQ, and S&P 500 ES, but it's obviously not going to get filled because price has been going sideways pretty much all day from yesterday up until now. So guys, market is going to open shortly in about 5 seconds. Again, if you're looking to take the momentum breakout, it's going to be a sell today. I would be careful with it because my bias is mainly bullish right now. You can see over here, market structure is very bullish. So you're going to be going against the trend and you're going to be going against market structure if you take the sell here for the breakout. Doesn't mean it's not going to hit, but you want to be a little cautious with that entry there. Or if you're going to take it, it's currently running in profit, I'd probably move your stop loss in profit right away once you've booked a couple profits there just to protect your position. So market is now open, guys. We got this right here. This is the opening price. We got the breakout running down right now. I'll come back and follow this in a little bit. Here's the breakout. It's currently running in profit. Like I said, if you're in this position, I'd recommend moving your stop loss in profit when you have the opportunity because you just don't know how long it's going to hold for, right? So there goes a breakout right there. It's pushing down. It's almost to its full target, just a few points away from the full TP for 50 points right there. If you guys are not familiar with full TP just stands for full target profit. It's just an acronym for it, just to make it a little bit easier. And full TP right there for the momentum breakout if you guys took it. Like I said, it was a little tricky because of the directional market structure bias, but you can see over here the momentum breakout has been on fire lately. This thing's been hitting almost every day. So momentum breakout right there, blasted right through it, and it is coming even further. So looking at this right now, the orb high is going to be right here at 45,354, and the orb low is going to be right here at 45,254 currently. So we'll see what happens here. I'm mainly going to look for bias here because my bias is bullish, of course, at the moment. The sells here could happen, but like I said, my overall bias here is still looking pretty bullish. Overall bias with regard to market structure is bullish. Overall bias with regard to my daily outlook is also neutral to slightly bullish. And then looking over here at the overall trend, it's pretty mixed, right? The 1 minute was bullish, now it's bearish. 5 minute was bullish, now it's bearish. 15 minute is still bullish, now neutral. 30 minutes still bullish. 1 hour is neutral, and the 4 hour is neutral. So with that being the case here, it might be a little tricky to look for a sell here for the orb. If you guys want to take the sell, feel free. I have it marked up here. But I'm probably going to be careful with the sells here. I'll probably be waiting for a possible swing back to the upside. But if you guys want to take it, feel free. It's up to your own risk. Unless I get more market structure here or a confluence, that the sells here are going to be good. Probably going to sit out on the sell here. So again, you're looking for price to break and close passes or below, which is at 45,254. And then you look for the retest for the entry right there for the orb. No close past it yet. It's broken past it, but not closed. Looks like it might close right here. No, so no close. Still no entry there for the orb for the sell. Right here, we might get a push back up and possible entry for a buy, or again, price may continue to attempt to break this low right here, retest and drop lower. So depending on which direction you guys are looking to take, again, I'm not really looking to take sells here because my bias here is still pretty bullish. It's not very strong though. So, we have a bullish bias here, but it's not very strong. So, I can easily shift to a sell. It's just, I don't like the price action right here where price is just testing the orb low. Like in order for me to take this here, I would need a clean break. Like it would need to be a pretty clean break below not where it's testing it back and forth like what happened yesterday. I need it to really break below, hold this area, retest, and drop lower from there, right? So this could be a possible orb sell right here. Okay, so price has broken and closed past this area. The orb sell, if you're looking to take the entry, guys, is going to be at 45,254. You're going to look for price here to retest the orb low. And there you go. The orb low is filled. I'm not in this position right here. Like I said, I'm not really looking to take sells here because my bias was bullish. So I'm not in this position right here. I skipped it, and it looks like a good decision because this here would have been stopped out. So, I'm following my bias here. I was pretty strong in my bias, and looks like we dodged a bullet there. So no entry for me there for the orb. I'm sticking to my game plan. This is kind of what happened with us yesterday, right? Yesterday we did the same thing, but for the buy side. Except for yesterday, it was moving in the direction of my bias. So if you guys are just joining in, we skipped the orb for the day, guys. The momentum breakout here did hit for full TP for a sell. So momentum breakout over here, full TP for 50. If you went for the 100 did not reach yet. Almost, but the 50 did reach. So 50 points hit already right there for the momentum breakout. 100 points have not hit yet. And we skipped the orb for the day. So I'll be looking for some more opportunities for entry here. In order for me to get the opportunity for entry, I need to have some sort of directional bias. Directional bias right now with regard to market structure is still pretty bullish, as you guys can see right here. So I'll be looking for this to swing back up and then provide opportunity for entry. There's been sweeps on both sides though. So you can see over here, price swept from this upper area. So sweep number one, which is right here. Again, the market's going sideways. So since the market's going sideways, the ideal direction for price to push or direction for entries are going to be sideways strategies, right? And that's pretty much what's been coming up here. So just a matter of time, guys, until the market here starts to move a little bit directional, hopefully. And then we can start looking for entries, but I'm not going to be forcing the entries here. I'll be cleaning this up a little bit since a lot of this has been moved around. And the example here is that price is still within the range. So this is showing you that there hasn't really been much movement in the market, right? This green box right here, this is the opening range from yesterday. If you look back in the past, um, see how we had the range down here? Typically, price pushes out of the range and it stays out of this area. Price created a range yesterday. This is yesterday's morning session, and it just kept rejecting off this area, and now it's sitting within the box. So with it sitting within the box here, this shows you that the market is not really moving directional, right? You typically want price to break out of the box from yesterday and move to the downside, or you want price to break out of the box from yesterday and move to the upside. If price doesn't break out of the box and it stays right here down the middle, this shows you that market is choppy for the day, right? It's still choppy. Not just that it's choppy for the day right now, but it's been choppy since last night. So this shows you that, you got to be cautious with your entries here because the thing with the breakout is that the breakout is a directional strategy. You want price to break out of the range and go directional, right? Because price here has been going sideways. This gave me a hint that, okay, you might want to be careful with any directional moves, including breakouts, because it's just not going anywhere. So, all right, we're looking for price to break out of this area again. I'll just try to keep this pretty clean so you guys can see the range. The range for today is a little bit wider than yesterday, but it's still a range within a range. Um, so we got price kind of bouncing around here. Let me clean this up a little bit because obviously, it's a little bit of a mess from the spikes that we had this morning. So we had a sweep to the downside, sweep to the upside right here. And now we're stuck within this range. So I'm looking for some directional movement here. Once I get a directional movement, I'll start trading that direction. But right now we just don't have that, right? So right now it's really about being patient and anticipating, what's to happen next, which we don't have confirmation yet. I got another support level down here. Let's see, I'm gonna draw a little support here so that you have an idea of like where the bounces are happening or where they may happen. Okay. So we have an imbalance right here down the middle, this huge green candle right here. I mean, the imbalance is going to line up with the support level, so it's not really going to make a huge difference. But I'm still going to put this here just so that you guys have an idea. So this is an imbalance right here. So with this being the imbalance, I would be looking for price to come back down and retest it, right? Because price broke past this area, established an imbalance. I'm looking for price to come back down, bounce off the imbalance, and continue up higher. Because if that's the case, then I can look for possible high-low break and retest off this lower high right here. But yeah, price is not really doing much. You can see here we're just having this really big range, just pretty much sweeps on both ends. Hey, Sam. Morning, Daniel. Yeah, Sam said news was bad. Another coming today. Yes, we have another news event coming up shortly. Let's see. So we got S&P Global Composite PMI inflation news coming up in about 5 minutes. This is pretty cool. I mean, trading views come a long way with news because back then they didn't have these news events that were accurate. So we have news coming up right here at 6:45, and then we have ISM Services Business Activity. Basically, some more inflation news. We have ISM Services PMI right here at 7 o'clock. There's a lot of news this morning. I think this is why the market's kind of going sideways because a lot of people are waiting for the market to react to the news events, right? So we got a big chop right here, pretty much on open. Market opened up right here at this blue line. And it's just been going back and forth, right? Huge range from the upside, huge range to the downside right here. Not much market structure in between. We have an imbalance right here. So what I was looking for is for price to come back down and retest this imbalance and push back up. We didn't have that yet. So this imbalance here has not really confirmed. So this high right here is pretty much invalidated. We have a new high right here. This could still set it for a possible high-low break and retest right here, guys, off this higher high. If you guys want to take this as a high-low break and retest, I mean, the bias here is very strong for a buy. The only problem is we have news coming up in about 5 minutes. So if you guys are going to take this trade, you got to be ready to pull out of that position before we get close to news. So if you guys want to take this right here, this is a high-low break and retest at 45,354. Again, take this with a grain of salt, right? This is with a word of caution because we do have news coming up shortly, and with news coming up shortly, this can be easily manipulated. So in order for this to be an active trade, this trade has to fill on this current candle. If it doesn't fill on this candle, you have to cancel the order, right? This current higher high right here. So again, if this doesn't fill on this candle, you have to cancel the order. There was an MPSV2 which came up right here, guys. If anybody identified that, there was a buy signal, retracement on this red candle, confirmation on this green candle. This right here was an MPSV2. So for those of you who are taking the market orders, MPSV2 came up right there. There's entries that are coming up. They're not necessarily good entries or good setups, but they are entries nonetheless. So right here, it looks like we're not going to get a fill on this high-low break and retest. Price did not come back to this higher high to retest that level. And I'm going to cancel this order here if anybody is still waiting on it. So order right there, cancel. There's been an MPSV2. For those of you who are not familiar with MPSV2, MPSV2 is the acronym for Momentum Pullback Scalp. It's a strategy that we use for directional. Typically in my playbook over here, there's two directional strategies that I follow in my playbook, right? The strategy that I follow is for me personally is a high-low break and retest. But if you don't want to wait for the retest, you can also just get in for the directional move, which is the MPSV2, right? This is my playbook for pretty much every live trading session that we have here. I like placing limit orders, so I usually take the high-low break and retest, liquidity sweeps, and momentum orbs. If you want to take market orders, same type of strategy, just different entry point, MPS V2, V1 variation, and momentum breakout. It's just, it's up to preference. So still no entry here. Price finally came back and retested right here finally, but unfortunately this doesn't meet my criteria, so I was not in this position here. But if you guys did hold on to that position there, it's currently running in profit. Came down and retested that resistance turn support. And here we go as price pushes up higher. All right, guys, we got news coming up in about 2 minutes. 2 minutes till news. And this week kind of sucks, guys. Honestly, the week sucks with regard to market structure and with regard to direction of price. For NFP, I was expecting more of a directional move, but it is what it is. Not all NFPs are going to be very directional. This was a very choppy NFP. It's a lot of just back and forth movement, which sucks because like I was really excited to trade this week. I was like, man, we're gonna get some good entries and we're gonna get some directional moves, but that just was not the case this week. Which is all good, it's part of trading. You guys have to understand that not every week is going to be perfect. Not every week is going to be very profitable. Some weeks are going to be very choppy, like this week, for example. Let me clean this up right here. We have a new imbalance, which is right here. These imbalances are kind of overlapping with our our structure, but it's just good to know where the imbalances are so that you guys have an idea. So we got structure over here. It might look a little messy to you guys, but I try to label them with imbalance. So this is a support, this is a support, this is an imbalance, this is a resistance turn support, this is an imbalance. This imbalance is actually retested. So you can see over here, price broke past the imbalance and then it retested on this green candle right here. So with that being the case, this is actually a pretty strong imbalance and buys here are looking good. So if you want to take buys here in the upwards direction, you guys can go ahead and take them and feel confident because we do have an overall bullish bias with regard to market structure. Plus we have bullish trend over here. The 1 minute is bullish, 5 minutes bullish, 15 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 1 hour is bullish, and the 4 hour here is neutral. So with that being the case, price here is above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling to the upside. Everything here is bullish, right? 1, 5, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour is somewhat bullish. And then looking over here at my market structure, everything is bullish on the 1, 5, 15, 30, and 1 hour. 4 hour is neutral, but that's okay. So obviously we're looking for buys here. If you want to look for entries here, buys are going to be your best friend. The orb over here looks like it came and filled for a buy. So price broke past it right here and it finally filled on this orb high. So if you guys are in this orb here, or if you guys decided to take the orb, I mean, the orb looks like it hit there for 40 points. This wasn't the actual orb because, I mean, obviously, the orb to the downside did not fail for us because we were not looking for sells there. We were looking for buys. But unfortunately, if we did wait for this here, this would have filled and this would have played out perfectly. Ideally, this is the entry that I would have waited for because I was looking for a buy based on my market structure bias. Everything here was bullish. So I'll continue looking for entries here. Here goes the news. So the news just came out. Let me check what the outcome was for it. So a sweep right there off the liquidity. Price pretty much came up. Looks like it swept down. Sam caught that entry right there. Nice work, Sam, on catching that sweep off this liquidity right there. So there's entries that are coming up. It just depends on how risky you guys want to be, right? Like there's been a sweep right here, MPSV2 right here, um, high-low break and retest right here, a late high-low break and retest, and then another sweep right here. So there's entries coming up. If you guys are just joining in, there's a couple entries which came up so far today. We had the breakout over here hit full TP for 50 points. For momentum breakout, the orb over here, we skipped it because our bias was bullish. So we skipped that, but the buy over here actually played out pretty nicely. Then looking over here at the directional moves, we have sweeps over here, sweep from the upside, sweep from the downside, MPSV2 directional move to the upside, and then a late high-low break and retest right there, followed by another sweep. So, I mean, these are over here kind of playing through pretty nice. The imbalance here is getting retested a second time. So we had the first retest right here, price broke above it, retested, broke above it again right here, retested a second time. We'll see if this imbalance is going to hold. If this is the case, I might be looking for a possible high-low break and retest right here off this new higher high. So I'll be looking for price to, so price came up here, retested. I'm looking for it to break past this higher high, retest, and continue up higher. We have another news event right here at 7 o'clock, so it's something to keep an eye out for. Uh, yeah, it's a lot of stuff happening on the screen right now, so just pay attention to it. Be vigilant with your entries and follow them closely because a lot of things can happen here, of course. We can even go into a range here. This might be a new range where prices ranges from this higher high down to the imbalance. Just got to be very smart about what's to happen next because you don't want to hop into something that you're not fully confident about, right? So looking at the imbalance right here, it looks like this imbalance might get mitigated. So we have this big imbalance right here. It's based off this big green candle. Price pushed up, it's retesting it. There's two things that may happen here. There's one thing where price may retest it a second time and bounce directly off it. And then I'll look for possible entry right here for a high-low break and retest. Or if it doesn't and it ends up closing below it, this could mitigate this imbalance and price may come down for a little bit before coming right back up. right? My overall direction here is still bullish. So I'm not really looking for sells. If anything, if price comes lower, this is going to be a temporary retracement. So it's got to, again, I keep mentioning to you guys, you just got to be smart about it. This is a very heavy news day today. We had inflation news which just came out right now. The inflation news was, let's see, it was negative. So we had S&P Global Services PMI right here, which was negative. We have another news event right here, ISM Services PMI, um, which is also going to be inflation news after, and it's also forecasted to be, well, it was forecast to be positive. It was negative. So if this was negative, this one's probably going to be negative too. It's coming up in about 10 minutes. Okay, perfect. So we got the retest right here, guys. Price came up, came down, retested off the imbalance. I'll be looking for price and breaking close past this higher high right here. Let's see, Rashida said, isn't that the orb too? Yeah, orb to the upside for this one over here. And also Kip mentioned looking for retracement to the sessions and return back up. Yeah, perfect. I'm looking for the same thing too, Kip. Looking exactly for the same thing. Is my sessions off? There we go. Turn my sessions back on. All right, so we got price pushing up right here. My entry where I'm looking for is going to be at 45,397. 45,397. So I'll be looking for a possible orb, or sorry, not orb, a possible high-low break and retest right here off this higher high. I just realized that we're in a really choppy area right now because we do have a bunch of levels here with regard to we got a bunch of levels here with regard to the previous session high lows. We got the London high here, New York high here, Asia high here. They're all clumped in this one area. All right, my chart's looking a little messy right now. Hopefully it's making sense to you guys. If not, we're gonna clean this stuff up once price invalidates a lot of these levels. I didn't have the sessions on earlier, so I didn't see all these other levels that were marked up, but they are here. So we have the London high where price is currently sitting, New York high right below it. We have an imbalance right here, which is currently active. We have another imbalance, which is overlapping with it, but I'm not going to mark that up because obviously, we already have an imbalance here. But for my entry here, if I do get an entry for a buy, I'll be looking for price to break and close past this higher high, retest that level, and continue up higher. So again, just got to be patient here. Sam said market is in the same September 2 range. Waiting for NFP could be also the reason it's ranging since 2 days. Sam said sitting out, don't like this price action, bad news, market pumping up. Yeah, exactly. The market was negative, guys. So like it's very unusual for price to push up higher. It's been negative pretty much all day today for the most part. Um, so what I see here is this might be price manipulation to the upside. If this is the case right now where price establishes this high right here, then this higher high is not going to be valid for me. And it looks like we're going to be stuck in this range. It looks like price is actually ranging now as we speak. Price established a high here, and it's just ranging between this higher high and the imbalance. Or if the imbalance wasn't here, it would just be ranging with this resistance turn support, right? So there's market structure here where price is kind of just sitting down the middle. I don't like here that price is not moving directional. When price starts to go sideways like this is a good sign to just stay out of the market. But I'll keep watching the price action here, of course. Price action pushes up and we have a nice break and close past this area and price holds, then price can probably continue up higher. We do have confluence here with rejection to the imbalance. We also have confluence down here with rejection to overall market structure. So again, if you guys want to take this here as a high-low break and retest, it's going to be off this higher high. It's at 45,397. Ah, man, this market sucks. Overall, market sucks in general. There's just not very much opportunities here. It's we've got a lot of this back and forth movement here. I was really hoping we get a good orb entry for the day. I mean, the orb here did come up for the buy, which is what I was looking for, but it didn't come up initially for the open. So it's all good. Again, here you can see price is just going sideways. I think price here may just consolidate until news happens at 7 o'clock. We have another high impact news event over here. It's inflation news. It's forecasted to be positive, but it's probably going to be negative because the previous one over here was negative. So we had S&P Global Services PMI. It was forecasted to be 55.4. It was actually 54.5. So it was actually worse than expected by about 1 point. For ISM Services PMI, it's forecasted to be 51. It's probably going to be slightly negative as well because these align, right? It's inflation news. It's not going to be different. So with that being the case, a lot of people here may manipulate price because they're expecting it to be negative, right? When there's an expectation, that's typically where you're going to see price to be manipulated. Because if everybody's expecting it to be negative, people are going to try to sell the tops, right? And if people are trying to sell the tops, the market makers and institutions are going to push up to stop people out. So buys here could be valid. Typically, if I was to trade news, I would trade opposite of it because market doesn't always follow news. The ATR right now is currently 20, so we have like average ATR. I'm surprised it's average because the volatility here, based off the news, is usually supposed to move a little higher. But the ATR is actually moving pretty slow. So this means that we have average to mediocre volatility right now. Surprising. Yeah, Rashida just said just not before news. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not really trying to take anything right before news. That's actually what happened here, right? So we had the orb that came up right here, but it was right before news. So yeah, I would have skipped it because we did have price break past it. 642 right here is when it retested, and then obviously price pushed up, and then it spiked down on that news candle. So I probably would have skipped out on that specifically because of the news. So you guys can see over here, prices respecting the news price. We're a little bit of a messy area. This pink line is a news price from 645. Price keeps rejecting directly off it right there. All right, guys, news coming up in about 4 minutes. Again, right here, price is having trouble getting past the news price, that pink line. This was the previous inflation news. Um, there's not much happening here. We have the imbalance right there. We have two imbalances actually. So if you guys wanted to mark up the other imbalance, there's one right here. They just overlap over each other. So it's imbalance over the imbalance. This imbalance is also confirmed because it's retested. But I'm going to take this off because my chart's already it's already super messy as is. All right, I'll keep watching here, guys. So this right here again could be the possible high-low break and retest off the 45,397. The only problem is that we're building up to news right now, so I'm not really looking to get into this position. 657, we have news in about 3 minutes. So yeah, be smart about your positions here, guys. Because here's the thing, price may break past it, but if the news here is negative, just like it was prior, you're probably gonna see a spike just like it spiked right here. See this big red candle? That was based off the news from 645. We got news right here at 7 o'clock, which will also probably be negative. So you may see another spike to the downside. Okay, if you guys want to take this here as a high-low break and retest, guys, it's currently breaking past the higher high. Again, take this at your own risk. I'm not going to take this position. We're too close to news. Um, it broke past it, but didn't actually close, right? If it closes past it, you can have a possible entry right here for high-low break and retest. Your pending order would be at 45,397. I'm going to hold off on this. It has to fill on this candle right here. So the entry is now currently active. I'm not in this position here, guys, because we have news in about 2 minutes. And I wouldn't be surprised if the market just gets flat right here. Just gets flat until news happens, and then maybe another big spike like this big red candle. So not in this position, guys. Like I said, this blue line right here is indicating that we have news at 7 o'clock. It is a high impact news event. ISM Services PMI forecasted to be positive, but because the previous news was negative, I'm expecting this here to be negative as well. It's just follow-up inflation news. So I'm gonna take this off because I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position. I'll put it back up, as price continues to move along. But you can see here that price is just sitting flat now. It's probably gonna sit flat until news happens. I mean, price may spike up right before. We might get some pre-news manipulation where price spikes up and then comes right back down. Or we might get the opposite where price comes down and spikes right back up after. But I'm not gonna be the sucker getting caught in that spike, right? You just got to be smart about it. Yeah, Sam said uh I don't have confidence in the imbalance during news. Anything is possible. Yeah, I agree with you too, Sam. So you probably made the smart decision by sitting out of that too. Because that could have been a sweep right there as well. But because news is happening at 7 o'clock, plus it's high impact inflation news, this isn't something to play around with. This is it should spike price to some extent. Might not be a huge spike, but it's gonna spike price to some extent. There's gonna be some sort of movement here, price reaction. All right, guys, news in about 3 seconds. Let's see. I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen here with regards to price movement. Big spike right there. Yeah, big spike both ways. Clean this up. Yeah. So it pushed up right there. Let's see if the news was negative. The news was still pending. I'm curious to see what it was right there. But yeah, there you go, big spike candle. So, like I said earlier, guys, this is why we avoid the entry at the time because you don't really know what's going to happen. It doesn't matter if news is positive or negative. I mean, whatever the market makers and institutions want to do, they'll spike price. I mean, you could be right spot on with the news and price will still go the other way. Let's see. So the news was positive, surprisingly. It was only up by 1 point, but nonetheless, it was positive. And you can see here price is now having a reaction to that news event. So news was negative here, price spiked down, news was positive right here, spiked right back up. Surprisingly, it was positive after the other one was negative. I guess it wasn't that far off because this was only off by 1 point, and this was also off by 1 point. It was forecasted to be 51, it was actually 52, so better than expected result plus one. And price did push past this area here. Yeah, so sort of big candle, not a huge candle. It's about a 45 point candle there. All right, let me clean this up. It looks like we're pretty much we're in the free open now until 8 o'clock. So I'm hoping, maybe we can get one entry here as price continues to move along. We'll see if we have a continuation to the upside. Obviously, I'm looking for buys here. Let's take a look at my overall bias again, guys. So let's just start off with my overall market outlook for the day. So today, my overall market bias was neutral to slightly bullish. Price did exactly that, right? Market opened up right here, and we had price push up. So my overall market bias aligned perfectly, right? I posted this before market opened up, and market has been bullish ever since, right? So neutral to slightly bullish. Fundamentals lean on bullish on dovish Fed expectations after weak labor data. Technicals lean neutral to bearish, but now it's pushing up. Obviously, we're bullish now, showing choppy distribution near resistance. And the net result is a neutral to slight upside skew, but the conviction is medium because of the conflicting signals. So again, I'm looking for buys here. Overall market structure right here is bullish. You can see over here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, and 1 hour, everything is bullish with regard to market structure, aside from the 4 hour. So I'm still looking for bias here with regard to market structure. Looking over here at the overall trend, the 1 minute is currently bullish. Price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling to the upside. Same with the 5 minute, same with the 15, same with the 30, same with the 1 hour, and somewhat same with the 4 hour. 4 hour here is more on the neutral side, but it is above the pivots. So this can continue to the upside. Another thing that I want to show you is I was trying to get into some dips over here for my swing account. I mean, you can see my buy limits right here at 45,000. It never came down to fill. We've been in this range pretty much for the past 3 to 4 days. I was trying to get in over here at NASDAQ too. So on my swing accounts, guys, I'm trading all of the indices or all of the indexes. So I'm trading US 30 or YM, no fill because price never came down to my order right here. Right here for NASDAQ, I was trying to buy the dip right here as well at 23,250, no fill on the dip there. And same with ES or S&P 500. I was trying to buy the dip right here, no fill. So I'm probably gonna have to cancel these orders. We're getting closer to the weekend. I was thinking of maybe trying to get in during NFP, if I get a spike to the downside, get that sweet fill and then push right back up. But we'll see. I'll have to think about it. It might be the case, might not be the case. I mean, again, we'll see. But yeah, I have these pending orders over here for my swing trades, and they're just not filled. I waited all week for my fill over here to get filled. Didn't fill, so it's okay. I'll probably try again next week. Um, I don't like holding the trades over the weekend because a lot can happen over the weekend. So we have a new higher high right here. We got a new support level. Let's see. Mm, I guess I can update this support level right here. Basically, it's from this higher low, a little higher. All right, so we have a support level here which aligns with the imbalance. I'm going to try to clean up my chart as much as possible. It's super messy right now. The imbalance right here got tested, guys. It hasn't been mitigated yet, but it's been tested. So this imbalance right here, it's been tested 3 times. We had the first test right here, second test right here, third test right here. So one of two things may happen. Price is either going to mitigate this imbalance and come back down lower, or it's going to bounce directly off it and come right back up. Right. So pay attention to what happens here with this price action. I personally don't mind if it mitigates it because I kind of want to clean up my chart. So if it does mitigate this imbalance, I can finally delete this level and we can clean up the levels here. So it's okay. I'll leave it as is. It has not mitigated it yet. It's broken past it, but not closed. So yeah, Sam should consider dodging the bullet. I know it's a tricky market right now. So I don't blame you. It's probably best to dodge the bullet whenever you can, especially with something like that. All right, I was looking at the market structure over here. So price finally broke past the imbalance. I'm going to clean this up right now. Balance is done. Perfect. That was what I was looking for. Price was, so you can see over here on this most recent candle, it broke and closed past the imbalance. So what happened here is it mitigated it. It's no longer, an imbalance anymore because it's not the structure that we're looking for. We're now back to regular market structure here. There's another imbalance down here, which may be retested. So that's like the only active market structure that I can kind of see right now at the moment. We also have a resistance here, which is established. So we got a resistance up here. Market structure is looking a lot cleaner now. I mean, it's still in this really big range, but it is a lot cleaner than it was prior. Um, yeah, just looking at this here so far. Yes, Sam, so there we go. Destroyed all the FOMO buyers. Positive news, my ass. Yeah, exactly. That's why, you shouldn't follow news, guys, because right here, the news was positive and it lured in a lot of people to chase these buys here. This is why I never trade news. Like, it doesn't matter if the news is negative or positive. I always try to stay away from the news and see how market reacts to it. Because the news is positive, but everything here, pretty much, they wiped out the buyers. It looks like it's pretty much stop loss hunting, right? Everybody who chased the buys here are getting stopped out. Because look, for example, if you entered a buy right here, like if you entered a buy from this top because of the news, where would your stop loss be? At the swing low, right? Right here. You gotta reverse engineer your thinking. Just reverse engineer where are people placing their stop losses. So what happens here? Stop loss hunt. Where are people placing their stop losses who entered buys from up here, right? Swing low, either this area or this area down here. So you just got to reverse engineer it. You just got to expect to see or anticipate where price is looking to hunt. And it's hunting this whole big bullish push right here, right? This is why it's tricky to trade in a market like this because it's not very directional. You see all the gains that were achieved from this morning. So from this morning, price pushed up from this low point all the way up here, right? And then what's happening now? Those gains are being distributed right back down. So it's all baked into price, guys. Like, I mean, this is why I don't like, there's certain times where I sit out of the market. It's not because I'm scared, it's because I'm being smart, right? I knew this was going to happen eventually because this happens, it's been happening all week. We're in this huge range here. Like, these are the worst kind of market conditions, right? For me personally, or this isn't exactly the worst. The thing is, we're in a big range here. So this is actually maybe second to the worst. The worst is when price is just consolidating sideways like this, right? When it's not going anywhere. At least price is ranging within this big range. What we typically want to see is we want to see price go directional, right? Push up, continue, continue, continue. At least for the first 30 minutes of market open or the first hour. Vice versa, if price drops lower, that's perfect too, right? For the first hour at least, go directional. But right here, you can see here price was pretty much in this big range. The reason why I want price to go directional is because my strategies are directional, right? In order for it to make sense for me to take entries, I need market to actually move in that directional side. That's why right now it's a good time to just sit on your hands and wait, right? There's no need to force anything here because you can chase the buys here, get stopped out. You can chase the sells right here, and you can also get stopped out. Price will just swing right back up to stop you out, right? There's no bias. That's what I'm trying to get across to you guys. Like, the thing is, I've been trading for so long and I've lost so many trades. The thing is, when you lose so many trades and you get burnt a certain amount of times, you start to understand and you start to see, like, if you don't want to lose, it's better to just sit out. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I don't want to lose. So yeah, there's going to be areas where I can take risky trades. Like, for example, I can take a sweep here or I can take a sweep up here. But why would I take that risk, right? The risk isn't in my favor. So, you just got to use risk management. You got to calculate your risk, identify, what's the probability of this working out for me. Right now, probabilities to take buys here, right? My probabilities for price to swing back up and continue up in a correction to the upside. But right now, it's just not giving me those opportunities because right now is just a messy area. We have all of these manipulated areas. And by manipulated areas, I mean there's just price structure everywhere, right? Like the support resistance is great, but we have these sessions here, the session high, session low. We've got imbalances right here. This is a good thing. So price retested the imbalance. And now that price has retested the imbalance, I'm looking for price to continue up higher. But my nearest high is going to be way up here. So in order for me to take that entry, I need price to push up, break and close above this higher high, and continue up higher. So just a matter of time. Just a matter of time here. All right, I'm just looking over here, reviewing a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes. There's not really much going on here. So I was trying to look at the market structure. There's another imbalance that was created right here, but it just invalidated. So there was an imbalance between this green candle right here and this one right here. But it pretty much invalidated it. And it's lined up with this other imbalance. So looking at this right here, let's see. Let's see what Sam mentioned. Sam said, I want to take 236 sweet but unsure. Any confluences you have there, Sean? So let's see, 236. 236. So your sweep right there lines up exactly with my liquidity right here, this lower low. So yes, we do have one confluence right there. If anything, I would go to the extreme. So not exactly at 236, but maybe a little bit lower at 226 for just for better entry. Because we do have the Asia low right there. We also have a support level and we have liquidity down here. So, I mean, you can get in from here if you want to get in a little earlier. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as your stop loss can cover this lower port, I think you should be good. Because, yeah, price may come down, may sweep off this, or price may come down and it may sweep a little lower. It might try to spike people out. Like, it might come down here, test it, spike down a little further, and then come back up. So, yeah, you got some confluences there. It's just a little lower. Let's see how far is that range, just in case your stop is too tight. So, it's about a 12-point leeway. So, I mean, if you have a 20-point stop loss, you might be okay for the most part. Or if you want to even go somewhere in between, your stock could be, or your entry can be a little bit in between here. So instead of 236, you can maybe have it around 230 just to have that cushion. Because I could see it getting hunted right here if it does drop that low, right? Like it'd probably go down, push up a little bit so people will chase it, and then spike down right here and then come right back up. Basically a head and shoulders off this manipulated price point. Let's see. Jonathan said, I didn't remove my dotted line from yesterday open and I realized that it came back to it and bounced. Is this normal behavior? So this is what I talked about earlier this morning, Jonathan. Price is still within this range, right? This is not normal because price should be away from this range. This is where market range from yesterday. So it established the opening range from yesterday, right? Which is right here down the middle. And then look at over here where price is right now. You have an orb you have basically the opening range within the opening range. This is not normal because if you go back, so let's go back a little bit. Let's go on the higher time frame. Let's go even higher. Let's go on the 1 hour. All right, come on, let's load up. Is it not loading up? Okay, I guess we went too far back. Okay, 30-minute. So check this out. See the orb range? This orb range is within this orb range. These over here, so you can see over here, this is like last week, right, where price was not really going anywhere. I mean, I'm not to say that it's not normal, but this just shows you that the market's not going anywhere, right? When the orbs are within the orbs, this shows that the market's not going anywhere. This is why we didn't take many trades last week because price hasn't gone anywhere. Same with today, right? Price has not gone anywhere. If you look at the price range from previous days, see how these orbs are kind of spread out? They're supposed to be spread out because price doesn't typically get baked into like one area, right? It's usually baked in like Like for example, over here, it's moved out a little bit, but it's usually not orb with like it's not eaten in within the same orb. So this pushes up a little bit, pushes down a little bit, pushes up a little bit, etc. And then you look over here, this is like well, we're in the summer market, so obviously you're gonna see this a lot, but they're not within the same orb throughout. They're kind of pushed away at least a little bit to the higher side, a little bit to the lower side, um, etc. When the volume is and volatility is higher, you can see over here they're more spread out, right? And then you compare it to today. Today's just one of those days where, well, you can't really see here on the 30, but let me go on the 5. Yeah. So see over here, this is a range within the range. See, the previous range over here was lower. This previous range was lower. It's not basically eating the same range here. This over here was a slow day on Friday, so obviously Thursday to Friday was within it. But for the most part, they're typically kind of spread out, right? See, they're not orbs within the orbs, unless it's a slow week. This is a slow week. We had one day where it was orb within the orb. So it's just, again, this doesn't necessarily tell you that it's not good to trade during this market, but it just shows you that the market's not going anywhere. So unless you're trading a sideways strategy, it's better to just sit out. I don't trade sideways strategies very much. So that's why for me, it makes more sense to sit out. Looks like there was a high-low break and retest right here. I mean, market volatility is kind of slow, but there was a high-low break and retest which came up off this lower high. Price broke past it, retested right here. I mean, the volatility is really low though. Not sure if anybody decided to get in on this, but there's a high-low break and retest which is currently running. For me personally, I don't think I would have taken this trade here because there's so many red flags, right? We have the sessions over here, New York high, London high. The thing that I would be worried about taking a directional move within this range right now is that price is going sideways, and then on top of that, we might get manipulation right here off the sessions, and it might come back down. If you guys are in this position, we'll follow it with you guys. But yeah, it's just tricky because look right here. See prices rejecting off the sessions right there at the New York high. If we had open space here, I would have taken it, but we don't. Like I'd be more willing to take this up here, the higher high versus this little tied up area. Yeah, no problem, Jonathan. Sam said, so NFP is coming positive tomorrow. It's historical. Yeah, NFP is going to be positive tomorrow most likely. And then we have I think next week is Fed week, right? It's either Fed week or inflation week. I think it's inflation week. Third week is Fed week. So next week, we're going to have all the inflation news come out, CPI, PPI. So consumer price index, producer price index. And then on next week, we have the week after that, we have the Fed news. We're probably going to get a rate cut, 25 basis points. So it's going to be a continuation up higher, right? If NFP is good tomorrow, price pushes up. And then next week, if inflation is good, price pushes up. And then the following week, if the Fed cuts rates, price is going to come right back down. So just keep that in mind, guys. So looking at the market for these next couple weeks is, let me see this. So September week 1, NFP data, good, bullish. September week 2, inflation data, good, bullish. September week 3, Fed interest rate cut, bearish, right? So just keep that in mind. If this is a case, this might be the setup. So price may be bullish to this week be for NFP, next week probably bullish for inflation, and then week 3 Fed rate cut. If they cut rates, it's not good for the dollar. So if it's not good for the dollar, it's not good for the market. So just something to keep in mind. So it looks like price is gonna be baked into the movement. Like, so I mean, looking over here at my swing trades, price may push up, and then dump for week 3. All right, guys, looks like the high-low break and retest right here just hit full TP or almost full TP for anybody who decided to take that trade right there. Nice work. If you guys didn't take it, it is completely fine. It was a tricky entry because of all the red flags here. So I'll keep watching. Yeah, Sam said ChatGPT told him. I mean, ChatGPT is not necessarily wrong, right? It's a good place to get an overall outlook of like the news and the technicals and stuff. I wouldn't necessarily follow ChatGPT like to the T, but I would use it as a confluence, right? Just use it to have an idea of like where price is likely to go and where is it to happen. Just because it says it's positive doesn't mean the market's going to move positive though. Because news could be positive and price could still be manipulated to the downside. It's just, that's just how it is, unfortunately. It's just how it is. Man, I was really hoping for an entry today. If you guys are just joining in, momentum breakout came up over here for a sell, full TP. Orb entry over here, we skipped it because our bias was bullish. The buy did come later and did hit full TP for 40 points. It happened around news, so obviously not a trade I was looking to take. A couple entries today for the scalps. We have a sweep, sweep, MPSV2, high-low break and retest, sweep, and then another high-low break and retest right here. And on top of that, also an MPSV2. I just realized that these two entries aligned with each other. There was a buy signal, retracement, confirmation on this green candle, so another MPSV2 right there as well. So there's a lot of opportunities which came up. They're just, they're all over the place when it comes down to it. They are all over the place. All right. So looking at this so far, yeah, looking at this so far. Let's see, I'm just going to review the market structure here. Market structure. So we have another imbalance right here, actually. So the imbalance is between this green candle right here and this red one. So we got an imbalance right here. Price retested the imbalance. Good setup right there. So price broke structure right here, retested on this red candle. We have a possible higher high right here. So I'll be looking for price to break, retest, continue up higher, retest, continue up higher from there for a possible high-low break and retest. We need to have a low here established though. So until we have a low established, this here is not going to be an established high. So we need to have a new low here, which just came up. If it doesn't come up, then it might be tricky because if it comes too low, then this imbalance could be invalidated or mitigated. Let's see. So the structure here is still bearish right now, guys. We don't have a change of character or a change of structure right now. Currently, it's overall bearish right now. So if you look at structure over here, it's still bearish. Technically still bearish. If we see price break past this area, it's going to shift back to bullish. I think this area right here is going to be the change of character, change of structure. So if price can break past this area, we're going to switch from bearish to bullish. The previous change of character, change of structure was right here from this higher high or higher low. When price broke past this area, it turned bearish. And now it's kind of in limbo right down the middle. Okay, perfect. We have a low right here, guys. So my next opportunity for entry is going to be right here at this higher high. It's going to be at 45,414. 45,414. I'm going to be waiting for that to break and close past this area right here. And then possible opportunity here for a high-low break and retest. 7:30 right now, so the volatility is starting to get a little bit lower. ATR is currently at 19. All right, nothing here yet. Let's see. Hey, Ark, looks like you just joined in. Looks like you missed the breakout for today. Unless you were here earlier, Ark. I know you were asking about the momentum breakout, if this could be like the only strategy you take. It's been on fire pretty much for the past couple of days, if not weeks, if not months. It hit again right here for a full TP for 50 points. I don't know if you caught it. Hopefully you did. If not, I mean, you can wait for the next one, but okay, perfect. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So RX said breakout hit, got mine, definitely. Just wanted to make sure RX. I know you've been watching it, so I'm glad you took that trade there and you hit your profit. So good to hear. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. All right, we got price breaking past the higher high right here, guys. This is going to be a possible high-low break and retest. I'm going to be following the market structure. So I'll be looking at the price action here to see if this is an opportunity for me to get in. The thing is, this candle is a little too big. So I don't know if this is going to come back to retest the higher high right there. I'm going to watch the price action here and I'll see if it closes properly. So I'll follow it here. It's probably not going to fill, but I'll follow it here. I'll probably get into it. We got 20 seconds left on the candle. Yeah, it's a little too far. I'm not going to get in right away. I'll watch the price action here to see if it pulls back, but I'm not going to get in right away, guys. So this is a high-low break and retest. I think it's just too high because if it does pull back, it's going to be a very strong pullback. I don't even think it'll come back and fill. It's too far out. So this would have to fill on this very candle, and it'll have to pull back at least 22 points. So if this here does not fill on this specific candle, then you got to cancel the order, guys. Something to keep in mind. This has to fill on this very candle here. We got 30 seconds left on it. I didn't bother putting an order there because I don't think it's going to come back and fill. Either way, I'd have to cancel the order regardless. But this was a setup that I was looking for. I was looking for price to break and close past this higher high, retest this level at 45,414, and then push up to my target. We got 15 seconds. Does not look like it's going to fill, so it looks like you may have to cancel your order here, guys. All right, we got 9 seconds left. And no fill there, so go ahead and cancel your order. Unfortunately, this is the setup that I was looking for, though, but it didn't fill. I didn't even bother putting my pending order there because I already knew this was going to happen. All right, so with that being the case, uh, here we go as we continue to follow along for something. Let's see, Rashida said done for the week. Didn't trade any funded this week. Didn't want to risk it on this holiday week plus NFP, but did pass an MFF challenge. Nice. Congrats, Rashida. I was thinking about adding some MFF challenges to my copier. Maybe might do that at some point. Not right now, but at some point. I'm a little more focused on FTMO right now because I want to get these accounts passed. Only problem is these swing trades aren't filling. I'm not used to swing trading. So I got a couple entries right here. If anybody's looking to swing trade with me, I'm probably going to cancel these though because tomorrow's Friday. You can hold trades over the weekend, but I'm not going to risk it. For YM, I'm trying to get in right here at 45,000. For Nasdaq, I'm trying to get in over here at let's see, 23,250. Does not look like it's going to come down here to fill. And then for ES, S&P, I'm trying to get in right here at 6,400, which again is not gonna, it's probably not going to fill. So I'm probably going to cancel all these right here. For all my swing trades, I'm pretty much swing trading all the indexes, US 30, Nasdaq, S&P. They're just swing trades. So I basically take them, hold on to them for a week or so, and then offload them by the end of the week. None of them filled because price never pulled back far enough. We've been in this range pretty much all week, so it is what it is. Let's see, Sam said small wick down and then up away. The gambler in me. I know. I was really tempted to get into this position here. Unfortunately, it just didn't play out, you know? So, all right, we'll keep watching it here. We got another opportunity right here, so I'll keep following it. I mean, we got so this was a change of character or a change of structure. Again, like I said, from this higher high right here, price broke past it. And then we had the change of character structure. So we might have a bullish push here. Now that we have that change of character, I'm going to be looking for price to push back up, break past this higher high, and continue up higher. So the next entry point of entry is going to be at 45,437. 45,437 is my next entry point. I would need to have a new low though, so there's no new low here yet. I would need there to be a new low before I can establish this as the high. Otherwise, the previous high is already broken. So I would actually like price to come down a little lower, establish a low, maybe retest this imbalance, and then push back up. Just sticking to my trading plan, guys. Like we've talked about this before, it's all about sticking to your trading plan, being consistent, being disciplined. You don't have to take every single trade that comes up. If the trade doesn't meet your criteria, it's better to just skip it, right? Your goal in this trading game, guys, is to last, right? This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not your goal to make X amount of money within a couple days or a couple weeks. That's what these prop firms do. That's why like these prop firms are not necessarily good for everybody, right? If you're a gambler, prop firms are not good for you because you're just going to keep blowing the accounts. If you can think of this as a business and you want this business to last as long as possible, right? It's a marathon. You want to have consistent profits month over month over month, right? You look over here at my stats for the year, right? So these are my stats for the month. I had a loss on Wednesday. I have to update it. So I'm currently slightly in the negative. Not a lot, but probably down like maybe 20K because I lost like maybe 30 yesterday. I made 11 on Tuesday. So slightly in the negative. But again, like I said, you want every month to be you want this to be a marathon, right? You want my August, I was up 130. July, I was up 168. June, I was up 50, right? You want to be lasting through this game. Every month you want to close a month in positive. May, I was up 14. April is my first red month. I was down 59, right? March, etc. Okay, so price broke this level, guys, but the high was never established. So I can't take this as a high-low break and retest. But again, back to what I was saying over here, guys, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You could have a good month, but you gotta remember the market could humble you tomorrow. Like you could have a good day today and you could blow your account tomorrow. If you can treat this like a business, yeah, I'm consistent, January 75. Like you want to close every month in the green. That's the main goal here. Like you want to survive in this trading game because once you're consistent, then you can start adding size, right? My overview for this month so far, or for this year, I'm currently up 723,000, right? That's because I'm consistent every single month. Some months I'll have a red month, like for April, and then I might have a couple break-even months here from April until July, but eventually I pick it right back up. Because like I said, I'm treating this as a business. I'm not taking every single entry. I'm very selective about what I'm getting into. My goal is to turn a profit every day, every week, every month, so that by the end of the year, I have profit. A lot of people, they just want to make a lot of profit like for this one day, right? You have that greed behind you. And the thing is, yeah, you might have a good day, you might even have a good week, but do you have a good month, right? If you're following anybody, don't be impressed by someone's profits for one day or for one week. If someone is saying that they're profitable, then tell them to show you their whole year, right? Tell them to show you their whole year because they're not profitable every single day. I guarantee you that. There's nobody in the world that's going to be profitable every single day. If they're showing profits, that's because they're profitable for that day. But like, look at their whole year. It's not going to be a straight push to the upside. You're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days, but as long as you can stay consistent to your trading plan, you should be profitable by the end of the year. And it doesn't have to be this much profit. It could be a little bit, right? If you have a small account, I'm like in the six figures here, but you can be like in the four figures or the five figures. And then once you get better and you're consistent, then you can add more accounts, or you can add more money to your accounts, and then you can just start, multiplying from there. So just keep that in mind, guys. Just got to keep that in mind. Ark said I got mine with the breakout. So where exactly do I put the pending order? Can you show how close we get to the candle or the wick? There's no pending order for the breakout arc. If you're taking the momentum breakout, you enter on market. So as soon as the market opens at 6:30, you're supposed to enter right away with the market order. That's for the momentum breakout. For the orb, it's different though. For the orb is where you place the pending order. But I'm assuming you didn't take the orb today because we didn't take the orb for the day. For this one, you place a pending order at the orb high or the orb low, wherever price breaks. But for the momentum breakout, you take the direction of the momentum. So there's no pending order for that one. You just get in right away. It's the same momentum breakout you've been applying for the years, the previous years that you've been trading with us. Same strategy. Nothing changed for that one. All right, nothing here so far, guys. Um, I was really hoping I'd get into something today. I just want to recoup my loss from yesterday. I'm slightly in the red for the week, but it's not like it's nothing to like. It's not going to mess with my account. Of course, I'm pretty profitable for the month or for the previous month. So the loss yesterday was just a drop in the bucket, because I did make profit on Tuesday, so that was able to mitigate a lot of the losses. I just need one win. If I can get one win today or tomorrow, then it's going to recoup my loss. Plus, it's going to put me back in profit for the week. But if I got to close this week with a slight loss, so be it. No big deal. Can make it back next week. So, all right, guys, 7:41 right now. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. There's nothing coming up right now. We have a sweep which happened right here at this upper level. So if you guys took that sweep, it is currently running right now for a sell. If you want to base it off the ATR already hit for 20 points right there. If you're taking these sweeps, I'd probably just go off the ATR because the market's not very volatile. It's at 18, so I'd round it up to 20. There's a sweep right there. I will clean this up. And now we have a new higher high right here. So we have an opportunity right here for a possible high-low break and retest off this higher high. Let's go ahead and take a look at our overall market structure bias. We have a strong market structure over here for a buy. 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30 minute, 1 hour, all strong bullish. Looking over here at the overall trend, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour, all bullish here as well. So what I'll be looking for here is for price to break above this higher high, retest this area, and push up higher. It's going to be at 45,453. 45,453. The only problem with this here is that the volatility is so low that I would recommend following it. So if you decide to take the entry here for a buy, I would follow it and possibly move your stop loss and profit as it climbs up higher. Because the volatility is not high enough here for it to really reach the 40 points. I think, price may reach 20 points and then maybe turn around and consolidate, or reach 30 points and turn around and consolidate. So what I'll be looking for here is I'm looking for price to possibly break up a little bit closer to like 20 points. And then once that happens, I'll probably move my stop loss and profit maybe 10 points. So I guarantee 10, shoot for the 40. Um, if that, right? If that, because the volatility here is pretty flat. Look at how market's moving sideways. If it stays flat like this, I might not even look to take the entry here. Because the last thing you want to do is get into this position and just go sideways for a bit. Eventually, yes, it might hit your target, but eventually it might even come down and hit your stop loss before it comes back up and hits your target. So yeah, in a situation like this, you probably don't want to take that's an unnecessary risk, right? I'm watching the price action. If the price action picks up and we get a nice strong candle, then okay, maybe I'll get into the position. But if it stays pretty flat and low, there's no need to force it here. So just be smart and follow the price action. All right, so this candle here is looking a little big. Might not be enough to break it, but it's looking pretty nice right now with regard to price action of its size and volatility behind it. The ATR is currently at 18, so yeah, 23-point push right there. Arc said, okay, I thought it was pending to avoid initial fake outs. I mean, you could wait Arc. So for the momentum breakout, if you want to just wait for the fit, like like for example, today it kind of pushed up a little bit right before it came down. You could wait for that, and you could place your pending order like wherever the market open. Like that's a possibility. But for this specific strategy, you should probably get in right away. Because if you wait too long, you're probably gonna miss the move. Like you got to be really quick to put that limit order right there. So I would just get in right away. All right, nothing going on here. Price is going back and forth, back and forth. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. This is a good time to ask questions because I'm not really taking anything right now. Um, Market here is just consolidating. The closest entry or closest opportunity for maybe entry is going to be right here at this higher high. The thing is, price action here is very, very slow. So I don't even think we'll get that break and close past it. If we get a slow little break and close, I'm probably not going to take it. I need to have some sort of strong candle, retracement, and push up higher because I'm not trying to hold on to this position for longer than I need to, right? These scalp entries are supposed to hit right away. So if you look back at any of the previous entries, they typically hit within 2 or 3 minutes, right? 2 or 3 candles. Price breaks past it, TP. Price breaks past it, retest, TP. This over here looks like it might fill, and then it might just sit here for like 5, 10 minutes before it either pushes up or pushes down and then back up. And nothing pisses me off more than a trade that just goes sideways for a while. Like I think that's the worst feeling. I'd rather not be in a position and then take it and then you're just right here sweating. You're sweating, waiting for it to hit your target. And then it ends up kind of going all over the place. So, I mean, there's still opportunity right here, guys. This lower high has not established yet. So this higher high is still the most recent high. So bias here is bullish. It's just the volatility is very low. Okay, it looks like we might get a break right there. I'm watching it. We got the break, no close. We got 20 seconds left on this candle right here. We got the break, little wick right there. All right, we might have some volatility here. This looks like it could be a possible decent entry. So let's see. I'll put my limit order there.
Order submitted. Or
Nah, it's probably not going to come back and fill. So I got my limit order right there, but
order
it's
submitted.
probably not going to fill. I'm going to watch the price action. Probably going to have to cancel it because I mean, it ended up pushing up a little too strong. I was looking for a strong push, but not this strong. It's a little too strong. We got 40 seconds left on this candle. It's probably not going to fill, guys. So I'm just probably going to cancel my order here. We got 30 seconds left. Yeah, I'm just going to cancel it. I don't want it to just spike and then all of a sudden it comes down super hard. Oh, well, see, for this right here, I was looking for it to like maybe close like right here, not way up here. And this can't
Canceled.
there order cancel. It's not going to come down to fill. So it wouldn't make a difference. My pending order there would never fill, so I would have to cancel it regardless. I canceled it early because I don't want to, FOMO into it. All right, so unfortunately, no fill there, but this is the setup that I was looking for, right? I was looking for a strong green candle here to break past it, retest, and push up higher. This is probably gonna hit the target before it comes back down. Or what might happen here is price may just go sideways, slowly go sideways, maybe come back down lower, and then come right back up. Did you get into that trade, Sam? I mean, I wish it would have filled, but it didn't. So yeah, this is probably what's going to happen here. This candle was pretty big, so it's probably going to have a slow retracement, and then it's probably going to turn right back up. Gotcha. Okay, so Sam's still waiting for it to fill. Volatility is just flattened out. Let me see the market structure. Okay, so this is actually a pretty nice market structure. See how we had this big green candle right here? This is an imbalance. So we have an imbalance between this red candle right here and this one right here. This one and this one. So we got an imbalance. Looks like it retested the imbalance. So this here might push up higher. Yeah, so it already retested right there. So price created the imbalance from this red candle to this red one. So it broke past it, retested on this red one right here, and this thing may push up higher. From there, we got a retest, break and retest of the imbalance. See, this over here would have been a great entry because this was a break of structure, right? Right here, we had the change of character or change of structure. So right here, price, we had a structure over here. Price broke past it. This was a change of character, change of structure, whatever you want to call it. And then right here, price broke past right here, this higher high. So this was a break of structure. So it's a basically continuation. You had the first break of change of character right here, and then break of structure right here. So this is a storyline, right? The storyline right here is that price broke past this structure. Now it changed to bullish market structure, and then established a high right here, broke past it again. This is now a break of structure. And that's where I would have looked for my re-entry, or my not re-entry, but just basically my initial entry for the high-low break and retest. So, I mean, market's doing exactly what I just warned you guys about. It's probably going to go sideways here for a bit and then eventually push up. We do have the imbalance here, so price is retesting the imbalance. Uh, let's see. So this resistance over here is now a support. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit. So resistance turned into support. There's still an imbalance here. And then another support. And the market structure here is just so messy. We probably don't need this middle level. Or I mean, it's still valid, it's still useful. All right, so Sam actually got into this late entry right here for the high-low break and retest. It's retesting the imbalance. So here, if we get that rejection, I think it's going to be a nice entry back to the upside. What you would look for here for confirmation is for price to push back out here and close outside the imbalance. If that's the case there where it closes outside the imbalance, then we should probably see a breakout back to the upside. Right. This doesn't meet my strategy criteria, so I'm not going to get into it, but I'm going to watch it for you over here. So I'm hoping that it does hit for you because this here is a retest of the break of structure. We had a break of structure right here off this higher high, so this is a good setup. It's also rejecting off the imbalance, so that's also a nice confirmation. And there's possibly another high-low break and retest that may happen right here off this higher high. It's a high-low break and retest. Right there, that's at 45,478. 45,478. I'll be watching for that there. That's the confirmation that I would need. So I would need that confirmation right there for price to break past this area. I mean, if that's the case, then, okay, Sam got in and out very quickly for 10 points. Nice work, Sam. Sam just did a quick scalp right there. He got back in for the retest right there of the imbalance and of the break of structure, and he got out quickly for 10 points. So great work, Sam. Yeah, beautiful. And the ATR is low, so 10 points does make sense right there for you. So nice work, Sam, on catching that there. Quick scalp. Man, I was really hoping this NFP week was going to be directional. So here's the good thing. We have a lot of choppiness for this week. So Next week, I think is going to be a very directional week for us. So I think there's going to be a lot of trade opportunities next week for NFP, or not for NFP, for CPI. So next week is inflation week. Let's take a look at the calendar. So the calendar for next week, we have PPI, which is on Wednesday, Producer Price Index, inflation news. And then Thursday, we have CPI, Consumer Price Index, another high impact inflation news. We have jobs data as well. And then on Friday, we have Michigan Consumer Sentiment. So next week is inflation week. We have PPI, CPI, and then Michigan Consumer Sentiment. This happens every month. So like it's not something new. It's not like all of a sudden we're thinking about PPI, CPI. It happens every second week of the month. So first week is NFP. Bring this up a little bit. Let me put this over here. So market, so monthly market cycles. Week one is NFP, either directional or choppy, right? Each week always has like some sort of theme behind it. So for this week, it was very choppy for NFP. It was also a holiday week. Week two is inflation data, NFP jobs data. So here, either directional or choppy. The thing is, this week was choppy already. So we already know for this week, choppy, right? Likely directional. Week three is Fed week, Fed data. So it's going to be either directional or choppy. This is like how you should identify the weekly data, right? So this week was week one NFP jobs data. I've been trading for how many years now? 12 years. So like I've seen this happen every single month. NFP is either really good or it's really bad. This was a bad week, so it's choppy. Next week is inflation data. It's either going to be directional or choppy, likely directional because this is going to lead up to the Fed data, right? Fed data over here, either directional or choppy. I think it's going to be somewhat choppy, directional post interest rate day. Or I'm going to say, choppy until Wednesday, Fed interest rate. And then week four is housing jobs data, usually ranging. Okay, so this is what to expect for next week, guys. We already know this week was choppy, so next week is likely to be directional. And then week three, it's probably going to be choppy until Wednesday when the interest rate comes out. It's probably going to be a 25 basis cut. So, people are going to be they're going to be sitting out of the market until Wednesday anyways. And then housing data on week four. This happens every month, monthly cycle. I told you guys about this last month, same exact thing. And it just keeps repeating itself. So I'm going to save this just so like I could show you guys this again next month because it's going to be the same thing. Right? If you trade long enough, like if you've been trading for years and years and years, you'll see the market moves in cycles. It's just how the market is. It's not random. It moves in cycles, right? Everything's baked in. Everybody knows week one is jobs data, right? Everybody knows week two is inflation data. We got the inflation. So here's the thing. We got the inflation data this week already, right? So what do you think is going to happen for inflation data next week? It's going to follow through. Inflation was pretty much negative for the most part, not good for the economy. And it's going to follow through and be negative again next week. So if that's the case, then have an idea of like what to expect. And then Fed data, of course, we already have an idea that it's going to be a interest rate cut on Wednesday. If the cut doesn't happen this month, it's going to happen next month. That's just how it's probably going to play through. Um, but all right, guys, unfortunately, this is another day of no trades for me. Um, we're exiting the summer market, so this is going to be, I'm expecting volatility to pick back up hopefully by next week. We're currently at 15 ATR, very low volatility today. Yesterday was a little high, it's like 30 points, 40 points. Now it's below 20, so not exactly the type of market that we want to be sitting in unless you're trading sideways. So All right, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. We're about 2 minutes till 8 o'clock. And it's just another one of those toss-up days, unfortunately. Price never broke past this area, so we never got that high-low break and retest. And then this imbalance right here is being retested, possibly going to invalidate if it closes below. So it may mitigate this imbalance if it closes below this point. And if it does that, price may come back down lower and retest this lower imbalance before pulling down to the opening price here. Here are my swing trades, guys. Again, I'm just showing you guys here that not much happened this week. So you can see over here, I mean, there's nothing here to work with, right? It is basically just flat. It's been flat pretty much all week. So this is Sunday right here. Price came down and then it's been choppy this whole entire week. My entry was going to be down here at 45,000, never came down to fill. So I'm probably going to cancel these swing orders for this weekend. Here's my NASDAQ entry. I was trying to get in over here at 23,250. Never came down to fill. We had a big drop over here initially from Monday, and then it came right back up. And it's just been in this big range. So I was hoping to get in somewhere around here for a retest, but never did. Same with the S&P. I tried to get in over here, right down here, but price never came back down to fill. It would have been a nice entry if I would have gotten in earlier this week because it did come down to the same price point, 6,400. Never came back down to fill. So it would have been a nice grab right there. And then I would have locked in, 250 points to 500 points right there. But it's all good. That's part of the swing trading game. Sometimes you're not going to get anything. And same with the directional moves here on the day trading. So it is 8 o'clock, guys. Again, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hit me up on Discord. I don't see any other questions here, so I think we're going to wrap this up for the day. Again, like I mentioned every single day, guys, towards the end of the session, if you don't have to trade, which you probably don't, probably sit out of the market, there's nothing to take here anyways. So, I mean, unless you see something really great, then go ahead and take it. But I don't see anything here really great. Volatility is very low. Price here is consolidating in this little box. What you want to look for here is a break and close past this structure and continuation up higher, or a break and close below this structure and continuation down lower. Right? Until you get that, I would just stick out of the market. Come back tomorrow, guys. NFP big day tomorrow. You're going to see a lot of extreme volatility pre-market at 5:30, and then hopefully we'll have a continuation so we can continue riding the market in that direction. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. Let's see. Sam over here mentioned 45,549 1 hour orb on top for a sell, but it'll come later. Okay, yeah, I could see that too, Sam. If anything, price may get stuck right here at the resistance, and then it may just come right back down, back to open, and then probably climb right back up to create another big range. So, yeah, if you guys are looking to take the entry, there's another high-low break and retest. Looks like it's setting up right here. No close, so again, no entry there. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. If you guys are just joining in or if you guys didn't see the earlier entries, we had a momentum breakout, hit full TP here for 50 points. There was no orb today, but the late orb came up, hit full TP for 40 points for a buy in the direction of our market structure. And then right here, we have a possible high-low break and retest setting up. For the scalps for today, we had a sweep right here, sweep right here, MPSV2 right here, which is a directional move, high-low break and retest right here, sweep, high-low break and retest right here, sweep, and then another possible high-low break and retest right here. But you can see that price is having trouble breaking and closing past this higher high, which is normal, right? This is normal. But all right, guys, that's it. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow.